Good day. When officials complain in Quebec, Canadian officials wanted answers from Justin Trudeau about the massive influx of illegal immigrants into Quebec. He said this: the government has been in contact with Americans for months on many issues relating to our borders. I think this is fascinating. So the solution is with the Americans. We talk to the Americans. We have the same thing in Sweden. The Swedish PM, he sometimes blames Hungary and Poland for the problems that we have in Sweden with immigrants. He says if Hungary and Poland would accept refugees, we wouldn't have this problem. So the solution is elsewhere, it's over there, you see? And Justin Trudeau is doing the same thing. I think Justin Trudeau and the Swedish PM are best friends. Yes. And Trudeau, he's magnificent, isn't he? I think he said, you know, we would welcome anyone who is refused asylum in the US. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what he said. And it's interesting that it's officials who complain, isn't it? We see it here in Sweden too. Officials complain about the workload connected to the migration crisis. And then Stefan Löfven, the government, just changed attitude. When the citizens complained, they just called them racist. But they can't really call these officials racist, can they? And I'm sure Trudeau is doing the same thing. When the officials complain, he says, I'm talking to the Americans. When the citizens complain, he says, well, you're just being racist. And then, if they have this problem, and they decide, well, we better deport some people, eventually they might come to this conclusion. Then there's a huge problem. It's very, very hard to deport people. I've seen it here in Sweden. I've talked about it. And here's a story from Germany. Police officers arrived in Ellwangen, Germany, to get a migrant out of the country. This guy was from Congo. So when the police put the handcuffs on this guy and were taking him to the airport, they were going to, 200 migrants surrounded the police cars. There were 3 police cars, and they were all surrounded by 200 migrants. And these guys began to demolish the police cars. The migrants threatened the police officers with violence if they did not let this guy go. And the police were afraid of their lives and had to retreat, submitting to the demands of the angry and violent mob. There was a comment from one police officer. He said, they were very aggressive, they threatened us more and more, we were forced to withdraw. So this guy from Congo is still, of course, in Germany. And that's what I've been saying, it's so hard to deport people. So what's the solution? It's a peculiar problem, isn't it? Well, the solution is to deport people. You should deport them on anything, any crime, any cheating, if they take advantage of the system, if they refuse to work, so on. You should deport them. And the other solution is to cut benefits to 0, preferably. 0 benefits, no money. And that would actually solve it. Now the problem is, the trick is to find politicians who can do this. And that's up to us, isn't it? Alright, bye.